What's good, you guys? It's your boy here, and today we will be reviewing another game, and the game that we are going to review is My Hero One's Justice 2. So, My Hero One Justice 2 is a 3D battle action fighter video game, and it's actually a sequel to the first My Hero One's Justice game. And of course, it was published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, and it was developed by Viking. So of course, plot-wise, it's literally the continuation of the anime of My Hero Academia. So it begins of the Provisional Hero License exam arc, and it carries forward to the end of the Shinui Hazuakai arc. And I am sorry for the pronunciation, I'm so sorry. So story-wise is good, but of course be prepared for still images, dialogue, and voice acting. They're all still there. It's still the same thing like in the last game, and of course there are some cutscenes here and there, but it's, to me in my case, it just really isn't good enough. I just feel that they really need to improve on the story base, because especially with the still images, because like I said before, I really can't stand still images. Most of the still images to me is like literally looking at the anime or literally reading the manga, and it's, to me, it's boring and it's just lumped out, and sooner or later I'm gonna go to sleep. That's just my opinion. But other than that, let's talk about the gameplay.
So the overall gameplay is kind of like the last game. Most of the mechanics is still there, but they tweak some things out to make the game more challenging and refreshing. So of course you have the ability to wall run and run on walls or inside of buildings and things, and you can also destroy stage environments, and they actually improved on that as well. You can also, of course, use your unblockables and counters as normal, and the same goes with the plus ultra super moves. So of course, most of the abilities to use a superpower and unleash a move that does heavy amounts of damage if you use it correctly. So the major two differences is the sidekick system and the whole stamina system. So the sidekick system allows you to choose sidekicks that aid you during battles, so you could do combos. Another player can play as the sidekick, allowing it for 4 players to fight it out in a 2v2 game mode, which makes the game a little bit more fun. They also utilized a new stamina system, which drains when going dash cancels, wall running, and quick stepping, which makes it a little bit more challenging. But other than that, most of it stayed the same. The roster has been expanded upon beautifully, with 40 characters in the roster that includes for most of the My Hero arcs. And like I said on my last review, it was freaking beautiful, man. Like, most of the characters that you play, it makes you use their quirk, and it's really intriguing and literally satisfying when you pull off a dope move and use their quirk. But yet again, since I played the last game, I can somewhat understand that some of the characters were literally revamped, but most of them just stayed the same. They didn't really change much, because I honestly thought that when I came into the second game, they have a completely different moveset and things like that. It just didn't change at all. Most of the characters in the game technically stayed the same, with most of the same movesets. I just would have wished that they would have done like a little bit more with that. But other than that, most of the other things has been improved too. So like most of the game modes that was also in the last game has improved as well. Like the mission mode, for example. So instead of you just specifically defeating the enemy while you're on a certain modifier, it does somewhat the same thing, but they tweak some things out. So it's like you could literally see the health bar of their health if you die off or whatever, but most of the mechanics stayed the same. So same thing goes with the arcade mode. So instead of you specifically going through each character like the last game, what they do is they'll set you up with 3 different types of difficulties that you'll get set up in, and if you choose that specific difficulty, like literally you'll be able to choose which one that you want to defeat first. But other than that, for the most part, the training mode have not been changed at all. Of course, it's just training mode. And before I continue on through anything else, most of the character customization in the game was literally spot on. I loved it completely, because not even that, you'll be able to literally go to your in-game store and literally buy most of the cosmetics in the game, and that was pretty awesome of them to do that. The next thing that I actually want to talk about is the online. Most of my time online was really laggy, and I really hope that they can somewhat fix those issues probably later in the future. But other than that, I had no problems with the online. The community as well, they just suck, because like I said before, in most cases they'll just pick the A tier or S tier character just to improve, especially in rank. So of course you got everybody that's going to be using the Shimiari guy, Endeavor, Gran Torino, and freaking all the Midoriyas, dog. The community just really ruined it for me in this case. But graphically, the game has improved a lot. Visually, the game looks really good and stunning. And the soundtrack was really good. Each and every time I even go to the main menu, not even just the main menu, each menu that I go to, and literally while I'm just fighting off, I jammed through the whole entire time, and I enjoyed every moment of it. But other than that, let's go hop on to the overview. So on the positive side of things, just for the plot alone, I like the whole story. The overall gameplay was literally improved and it was fantastic. I like the improved sidekick system, and I also love the improved stamina system. I just love the overall roster and how each and every one of them has their own specific quirk, and that makes the whole character roster just special. And the customization was fine, it wasn't bad, and graphically the game was good, and I jammed through the soundtrack the whole time. And the negative side of things, even though I did like the plot, be prepared for still images and voice acting. Some of the characters in the roster stayed the same, which bums me out a little bit, and the online was a little buggy, but it's fine in this case, and the community just ruined the whole thing for me, dog. So the game came out at March 13, 2020. The game should be on most platforms, so it should be on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And digitally, the game is of course about $59.99, so technically $60, and it could cost a lot more depending on which edition you get. And if you go to your local store, it varies the same price, so it should be $59.99. But if you look really closely to certain local stores, it can be cheaper than like $49.99, but other than that, it should be the same price. So the big one, is this game actually worth it or not? In my case, the game is worth it if you haven't really played any of the My Hero 1 Justice games, but since I have played the first game, it's not really worth as much, so I really highly advise you guys to wait until the price drops or even rent it. But other than that, that's the review. If you like this review, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I do reviews, videos, PvP matches, streams, and more. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page and my Twitch account, because I stream on those platforms as well. Everything should be in the description box below, and I'll catch you guys on the next review.